I think we're done with the clocks now. So obviously I'm wrapping up my stay here in California, staying at my mother-in-law's house. She wins the record for the most clocks that make noise. I've grown accustomed to it, but as I'm shooting these videos at our house, I have to remember, oh yeah, the clock's gonna go off like every 15 minutes. And that happened right as I pressed record. All right, what do I talk about in this one? Look at my notes here. Okay, we're gonna talk about hats. This is gonna, in theory, maybe one of the dumbest hair loss videos I've ever made because it's so simple, it's just stupid. But I gotta get this off my heart. I gotta say this. So, people have this way of looking at the surface problem, what they can see, and they think they've got to fix that instead of looking at the fundamental. Man, seriously, look. Okay, I think finally we're done with all the. Yeah, she also is like really big into chickens, my mother-in-law. Yeah, there's like chickens and clocks like everywhere. Okay, more chickens. All right. So, the point of this video is actually, man, there's more distractions in this house than there is if I were walking the streets of Sacramento, right? So, a lot of people look at what they perceive as the problem and they try to fix that instead of the fundamental issue, which, as you all know, this is not a hair loss channel. It's a psychological type of experiment in which I help people realize they can overcome their hair loss psychologically instead of trying to keep their hair from falling out. That's really the point of this channel. That's the heartbeat of this channel. So something I have said before is a lot of guys will comment, like on a daily basis, they'll comment on my videos and they'll say, I wish I had the ability to be as confident as you are because hair loss causes me to be really insecure. And when I hear that, I think, yes, for that 21-year-old guy, that is his perception of reality, that he's insecure because of his hair loss. But I am 37, married, 2 kids, have 2 successful YouTube channels. I've learned a lot about psychology, and I understand that no, hair loss does not cause insecurity. It triggers it. And it may be the first thing that really kind of opens that door, because I've learned that sometimes people haven't even had any real trauma in their life. And then for some guys, hair loss serves as that first major issue in their life that they feel helpless and they have no control over, right? So I don't believe hair loss causes insecurity. I believe it triggers it. But I believe if you're already a confident person, then you're going to make that part of your identity, shave it off, do whatever it takes to accept it and move on. And so many guys do. Meanwhile, other guys are saying, oh no, girls won't think I'm attractive because I'm bald. Meanwhile, there's a guy the same age as you that has a very attractive girlfriend and he has like no hair on top because he buzzes it off. He works out and has a beard, and that's the end of it for him. He totally moved on while the other person didn't. All that said, maybe, and this is dumb, but maybe, what if, to test this theory out, think of like Doctor Strange on Marvel. He has his magic cape, right? Or in the earlier Thor movies when he had his hammer, or Captain America and his shield, right? They all had these things that as long as they had them, they had the power, right? But like in theory, if you think that hair loss is the thing making you insecure, then in theory, wouldn't you just put on a hat then? And anytime you wear a hat, magically all your problems go away because you're hiding the problem. So during that time, as long as you have a hat on, you're good to go. It wouldn't be until you take it off that your world falls apart. But see, I think most people who are that insecure about hair loss would put on the hat and still feel insecure about it. They would still be, oh no, but what if I have to take my hat off? Or what if that pretty girl, after I had this good conversation with her and started to go somewhere and I was about to ask her out, but then like, do I take my hat off and say, are you sure you want to go out with me? Because look, I'm starting to thin up here. I've got to receive, are you sure? That's what I believe. I believe if it was simple as hair loss that was the problem, that we could hide it with a hat for the most part. Or like I say, actually just shave it off and get rid of the problem altogether. I'm making this video to remind everybody that I strongly feel Hair loss does not cause insecurity. It triggers it. And it's not universal either. It's not like all guys freak out and get insecure when they start realizing they're losing their hair. What this does is this rocks your foundation for so many guys. The first signs of hair loss is like rocking your foundation to find out what that house was actually built on. If that house was built on sand, and the analogy here that I'm going to create on the spot, because this is not a prepared video, as pretty much none of these are, it's as if you built a house on top of sand. And as long as there wasn't a storm, everything was fine, and you enjoyed living on the beach. It was great. But then Hurricane Hugo came through and blew your house down, and it was built on sand. That was the end of it, all right? But then the next guy who built it on a solid rock foundation, not so close to the water already, all right? And then a storm comes through, that house is still standing. I think even if that's a horrible analogy, my point is this. I think it comes down to your foundation to begin with. And whatever comes by, it may shake the house, but it's not going to blow the house away if that foundation of confidence is solid to begin with. And I think a lot of guys aren't that confident to begin with. So all it takes is a trigger like this, such a universal trigger too. So many men, especially of European descent, Indian descent, Middle Eastern descent, Jewish descent, are naturally more prone to lose their hair early on. But without that solid foundation of confidence in the first place, it won't take Hurricane Hugo to blow the house away. It'll take just a... That was so awful. I'm never doing that again. I think I'm going to stop this video now.